Start your tape right now, because I'm about to tell you the truth. And F you if you can't handle the truth. This version of Biden, intellectually, analytically, is the best Biden ever. Not a close second. And I've known him for years. The Brzezinskis have known him for 50 years. If it weren't the truth, I wouldn't say it. But can he run for president in 2024? Donald Trump lied over and over and over and over again. And Joe Biden couldn't respond to any of those lies.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We got to talk about Joe Scarborough and MSNBC, okay? Because we're going to be talking about the mainstream liberal media a lot today in their reaction to Biden's disastrous debate performance, okay? It was a historical disaster because Biden went on stage, and although he didn't quite have a Mitch McConnell moment, he got very close. It was clear that Biden was not able to articulate a thought without losing his train of thought. The guy looked frail, old, weak, and this was apparent. It was obvious from when this man walked on stage, okay? When I saw Biden walk on stage, I was like, oh man, it's over, right? It was already over. I mean, this guy does not look like a man that could actually lead this country. And then once he actually started to talk, which Trump let him do, CNN actually let him do stupidly, right? They let Joe Biden talk, okay? And yeah, it became clear and apparent to everybody watching, anybody with two brain cells rubbed together, that this guy is not mentally capable of being president of the United States. Despite the fact that you had liberal media propagandists, like, for example, Joe Scarborough, claiming that Biden is as mentally sharp as ever, okay? And now we have to react to Joe Scarborough essentially humiliating himself, embarrassing himself, ruining the credibility that he has, even though I don't think he has any credibility at all, okay? But, you know, this guy's on mainstream liberal media, and he claimed that Biden was as sharp as ever just for Biden to show up and to have one of the worst debate performances that we've ever seen. Honestly, the worst debate performance that we've ever seen. This is how they're coping with it on MSNBC, as people like Elon Musk are roasting Joe Scarborough. Everybody's roasting him. They're laughing at the fact that this guy actually really claimed that Biden was cognitively sharp.
Well, and I know so many people watching do, and agree with you. And again, I've already said what I think of the man personally and think of his job. I will say, Willie, that for me, I've been in politics long enough and I've been around politics long enough to know that often time doesn't heal all wounds. And if this debate does not lead to serious discussions between Democrats and the president, then what you end up having is sort of this frozen political situation where Democrats then start convincing themselves 2, 3, 5, 10 days out that the guy in power, the guy that the people closest to power will suddenly, you know, they'll start spinning and they'll believe their spin. And so I don't think that it's panic. I'm the first one. We talked about Democratic bedwetting last night. That is not this. This is like a war. We see a political battle for democracy, and this is like losing a major battle. Is it panic after a war where a major battle is lost to say this general? You don't know if this general is up to leading the troops the rest of the way. But I mean, again, these are just things that Democrats are going to have to answer over the next couple of days.
Everybody calm down, and I'll tell you why. I mean, it's fine to not spin what happened last night, and we're not going to. Again,
by the way,
he had a terrible night.
Mika, everybody's calm here.
No,
you're the only one raising your voice.
No,
Everybody is calm here.
But again, it's the let's just immediately pull this. Let's end this. Let's find someone else.
That's not what Mike said.
That attitude toward this is what I am saying slow down on. Because, again, There's no spinning it. But let's be balanced. Let's, for once, show some balance in a media world that is so shrill with imbalance that we've become inured to the difference between these two candidates. So let's put it this way. Gene Robinson, I'll go to you.
Well, wait. I just have to stop you. First of all, we always show balance.
We are, yeah.
Secondly, nobody's panicking. I said these were questions that Democrats and Joe Biden needed to ask themselves. And Mike said he missed one pitch down the middle after another and wasn't up to it last night.
Right, okay. He said wasn't up to it last night.
He said last night. So I will say that it's not panic. I mean, it's not being panicked. To understand what's at stake at this election and understand the window is closing very quickly. And if Joe Biden is not up to doing this, and if last night did not reveal that to you and other Democrats, then it needs to be revealed pretty soon.
Boy, I gotta tell you guys, MSNBC is high as hell off of the copium right now, okay? They are Hunter Biden high. It's time to check Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski and the whole MSNBC this morning set. Check them into rehab, okay? Because they are crazy high off the copium right now, okay? I'm just saying. They are saying, well, we don't have to spin it, okay? So that is what they've been doing the whole time, right? They're telling you, yeah, we've been spinning this. We've been lying to you. We've been gaslighting you. And now that our lies have been revealed to the public because of this Joe Biden debate where we can't say it's a cheap fake, right? The whole CNN debate was a cheap fake. This is what they were saying. Now they're sitting here and they're acting like they're shocked. Oh, we're shocked that Joe Biden had this performance. No, you're not shocked. You knew. You absolutely knew that Joe Biden was in terrible shape. You knew it, but you lied anyways to the people. And again, that is what really pisses me off about these people. They should be ashamed of themselves. Because the mainstream liberal media is never held accountable for this type of bullshit that they pull on a regular basis. Where they lie to your face. They piss on your leg, tell you that it's raining. And then all of a sudden, when the conspiracy theorists turn out to be right, which we were from the whole time. We've been right for the last 4 or 5 years, okay? Team conspiracy. Almost every conspiracy theory turned out to be true. Here we have another one. Oh, it's a conspiracy that Biden is not mentally well. And it's like, no. Actually, what the conspiracy is, it turned out, and I said this before in a prior video, no, the actual conspiracy is this idea that Joe Biden is mentally well. That is the conspiracy, guys. These people that always want to talk about Trump's lies, everybody else lies, they lie right to your face, and then they want to criticize other people for lying. Joe Scarborough lied. He lied when he went on set and he claimed that Joe Biden is as mentally sharp as ever. He lied. And the sad part is that he's not going to be held accountable. He should be held accountable. Just like Democrats are looking to hold Joe Biden accountable for his debate performance, right? They want to pull him from the job. They say, oh, well, Joe Biden's not up for the job, which, by the way, I found to be hilarious because, again, these rumors were out there before the debate that Democrats, if Joe Biden essentially lays an egg, which he did last night, that they were going to panic and try to pull him. It seems as if that is actually happening, right? Again, another conspiracy that turned out to be true. But just like Democrats are calling to hold Joe Biden accountable, what needs to happen is the media should be held accountable. Everybody in the media that tried to gaslight people with these talking points about cheap fakes, about, oh, Biden is as mentally fit as ever, all this nonsense. These people were boohoo whining and crying when the Wall Street Journal came out with an article talking about how, yeah, Democrats and Republicans behind closed doors have said that, yeah, Biden is in terrible shape. He has no clue what the hell is going on, right? They're concerned. And these people came out here and they smeared the Wall Street Journal. They smeared the author. They came out here and claimed that, oh, it's impossible. These are all lies. While at the same time, people like Joe Scarborough, he knows Joe Biden personally. You don't think this dude, Joe Scarborough, has talked to Joe Biden and he knows in his head that Joe Biden ain't mentally well? Of course he knows. But he lied anyways. He was just hoping that Joe Biden would perform that bad. But where's the accountability? Joe Scarborough should be fired. If I was Joe Scarborough, I'm not entirely sure how do you show your face? How do you show up the next day and show your face after having a clip of you claiming that Joe Biden is mentally sharp as ever just for Joe Biden to go into this debate and to put on the worst performance ever. Can't articulate a single thought. I don't understand. How do you show your face? You should be embarrassed. You should step down, Joe. Both Joes, right? Joe Scarborough and Joe Biden should step down. Because, I mean, your job as a journalist is to be honest and fair, okay? But, again, Joe Scarborough coming out here saying the things that he's saying, he's not being honest or fair. He's just pushing propaganda on behalf of Democrats, and it blew up in his face. Again, the sad part is that MSNBC won't fire this man, even though, in my opinion, this has permanently damaged the network's reputation. Again, their reputation wasn't good before, but I'm just saying, how can you go on television and present yourself as a credible person when you got something so wrong, okay, about the President of the United States? You say you knew him personally. You put your personal reputation on the line. You say, hey, if you don't agree with me, F you. Again, it's humiliating, right? It really is. I don't know how he goes on air. But again, the reason why is because these people don't hold each other accountable, right? Joe Scarborough should be held accountable for being so wrong about that, for misleading and gaslighting so many people. But we know that won't happen, okay? That won't happen. Regardless, again, there's a lot of cope, okay, in Democrat circles, not just on the mainstream liberal media, including Gavin Newsom, who a lot of people say, you know, could replace Joe Biden after this terrible performance.
You were out there getting a chorus of questions about whether Biden should step down. There is panic that has set in. There is panic that has set in among people who have watched this debate, who are Democrats, people who are strategists, and some even inside Democratic campaigns. Yeah. Do you think it's unfounded?
Well, I think it's unhelpful, and I think it's unnecessary. We've got to go in and got to keep our heads high. And as I say, we've got to have the back of this president. You don't turn your back because of one performance. Well, what kind of party does that? It's been a masterclass. 15.6 million jobs. That's 8 times more than the last 3 Republican presidents combined. The only thing the last 3 Republican presidents have in common is recessions. Democrats deliver. This president has delivered. We need to deliver for him at this moment. With all due respect, the more time we start having these conversations, go down these rabbit holes, it's unhelpful to our democracy, our fate and future of this country, the world. They need us right now to step up, and that's exactly what I intend to do.
Yeah, so again, I expect that type of cope and spin from Gavin Newsom and Democrats. I mean, that is their job, okay? But again, it's just so funny to me how the mainstream liberal media was peddling that going into the debate, and just how much it's kind of backfired on them. But let's talk about Kamala Harris, who also could be the person to replace Joe Biden if they actually do decide to try to pull Joe Biden. Let's see her try to spin this and the cope from her.
John King has described a panic inside the Democratic Party right now because of President Biden's performance in tonight's debate. He's been hearing from Democratic lawmakers and others around the country. Some within your own party are wondering if President Biden should even step aside. What do you say to that?
Listen, first of all, what we saw tonight is the president making a very clear contrast with Donald Trump on all of the issues that matter to the American people.
Yes. Yeah, like his mental fitness, right? It was a very clear contrast. Yes, that is correct. Just not in the way that Kamala Harris is saying it, but in reality, yeah, there was a clear contrast, and everybody saw it. It was night and day.
There was a slow start, but it was a strong finish. And what became very clear through the course of the night is that Joe Biden is fighting on behalf of the American people, on substance, on policy, on performance. Joe Biden is extraordinarily strong. And
on substance and policy and performance tonight, I mean, the president's performance tonight clearly was disappointing for his supporters. CNN is reporting Democratic lawmakers watching the debate were worried about the president's performance. One said it was a disaster. Another called it a train wreck. Those are Democrats especially worried that Biden did not punch back on Trump's lies.
Listen, people can debate on style points, but ultimately this election and who is the president of the United States has to be about substance. And the contrast is clear. Look at what happened during the course of the debate. Donald Trump lied over and over and over again, as he is wont to do. He would not disavow what happened on January 6th. He would not give a clear answer on whether he would stand by the election results this November. He went back and forth about where he stands on one of the most critical issues of freedom in America, which is the right of a woman to make decisions about their own body. He has been completely ambiguous and all over the place about where he stands on that issue, despite the fact that he hand-selected 3 members of the United States Supreme Court with the intention that they would undo the protections of Roe v. Wade, and that's exactly what they did. And just 3 years ago, we commemorated the 2-year anniversary of Dobbs, wherein women across our country have been denied emergency health care,
all that may be true. All that may be true. But the president of the United States was not able to make that case to Donald Trump on the stage tonight. I mean, you debated against then Vice President Biden.
Yeah, and she called him a racist. Okay, called him a racist and said that she believes Joe Biden's accusers. Okay, I wish that CNN would actually throw these facts in the face of Kamala Harris, but they won't. But you guys see how this interview is going, in the sense that if Kamala Harris, if this was a Republican and Trump had the performance that Biden just had, Anderson Cooper would not allow the Republican to spin this type of nonsense and to dodge the questions and to not talk about the fact that Democrats themselves, the insiders, feel like Joe Biden's performance was terrible. He's just letting Kamala talk and say a whole bunch of things that don't have anything to do with the actual question, what people are concerned about. They probably cut off the interview, right? They cut off the interview if a Republican was given this much deflection and garbage on CNN. But when a Democrat does it, though, they just allow Kamala to do it. Again, amazing.
4 years ago, and he was a very different person on the stage 4 years ago when you debated him. That's certainly true, is it not?
Anderson, the point has to be performance in terms of what a president does. A president who incites an insurrection against the Capitol. No, but I got the point that you're making about a 1.5 hour debate tonight. I'm talking about 3.5 years of performance in work that has been historic.
But whether it be the man who we saw on the stage tonight, is that the person you see in meetings every day?
The person that you saw on the debate stage that has, for the last 3.5 years, up until today, performed in a way that has been about, whether it be in the Oval Office, negotiating bipartisan deals so that we have an infrastructure, a real infrastructure plan where we're putting trillions of dollars on the streets of America to upgrade our infrastructure. Whether it be the person I see in the Oval Office.
Okay, so listen, Kamala's not trying to answer the question, right? She's deflecting. CNN is giving her some pushback, but Kamala's turning up, right? She's trying to put on the whole, like, I'm an angry woman, I'm a strong woman, you're not going to talk over me type of shtick, okay, to push her propaganda, to talk about a whole bunch of stuff that, again, is not relevant to the actual question. But again, I'm not surprised Kamala's acting like this because the media typically does not acknowledge reality, right? The Democrats have denied reality and the liberal media has allowed them to get away with it. And now that the liberal media is presenting Democrats with reality and facts, again, they struggle. They want to get upset. They want to try to pretend like, oh, well, you guys are talking about the wrong thing. You guys should be talking about Trump, right? But, hey, it's hard to talk about Trump when Biden, again, appears to be an empty suit, an empty head, right? Running the country. Biden's not running anything, bro. Biden's in terrible shape. Again, the longer this goes on, the more humiliating this will be for the Democrat Party. And here's the thing, guys, I'm telling you. They may want to replace Joe Biden. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, this is a part of the grand plan to replace Joe Biden, right? They just march Biden out there to replace him. And that could be true. But I don't think it's going to work. The reason why I don't think it's going to work is because Kamala Harris is not much better than Joe Biden, okay? And Gavin Newsom is not known enough to be able to put up a run so late. And on top of that, Gavin Newsom's state is a disaster, okay? So with his state being a disaster and not being that well known, okay, yeah, that's going to be a problem, okay? It's going to be a huge problem for him to run. It's going to be a problem for any of these Democrats that are looking to run. I just don't think it's going to happen, right? I think that either way, they're screwed. And part of the reason why is because Democrats overthrew democracy in their own party, right? When they knew they should have pulled Joe Biden, they should have had a primary, they decided not to. They rigged it against anybody that got into the primary. And now, lo and behold, this is the result of what they did to themselves, okay? This is the result. So, hey, I think what's happening to the Democrat Party is hilarious. I am loving the liberal tears. I am loving the cope. And we will see what Democrats do moving forward. But at this point, I don't think it's going to matter, okay? It's really damned if you do, damned if you don't. If they swap out Biden, I think they're screwed. If they keep Biden, they're screwed. And again, it's their own fault. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.